Thank you for joining us today. Today we will have a session about the coaching program, and our coaches and our admin team will explain a little bit about it. Okay, so please, the stage is yours.
Yes. So today we will have a coaching presentation. And at first I will explain a little bit more about the coaching program, but today I'm also joined by two of our coaches who are going to tell a little bit more about their experience in a later Q&A session, where I have some questions for the coaches, but I also invite you to also ask questions and be interactive. So while I'll pull up the slides, would Emily and Lisa be so kind to just introduce themselves and say how long they've been in the coaching program and what their current position is?
I can go first. I hope everyone can hear me. Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Shibutse. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Kenya. I've been in the program, I want to say 2 years two semesters as a coach, when a semester before as a student. So I feel like it's 2 years, but I'm not always sure. My current position, I'm currently a lead coach this semester. Yeah, that's everything.
Hello everyone, my name is Emily. I'm 16 years old and I'm from Lima, Peru. Well, this is my second semester in the coaching program and I'm now being a lead coach. So it's I'm kind of nervous, but as well excited for this. And yes.
Thank you so much, girls. We will hear more about them later on, but before we will talk about them, just let's talk about the generals of the coaching program. So let me just select sharing. Okay, are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. Yes, we can see it.
Great. Okay, so today I will be talking to you a little bit about the coaching program. And I think you're all a little bit familiar with it already because as of now, your coaches should have reached out to you and to help you. So if you have not replied yet to the email your coach sent, please do it ASAP because that way they are able to help you. So let's go on to what we're talking about today. We're talking about a coaching program in general, the role of the coaches. Then we will also talk about the benefits of joining the coaching program. Then we also will talk about the giveaway at the end of the semester. I already kind of teased that in an earlier meeting, but I'm gonna repeat it. And then we'll have a Q&A session with two of our coaches. And I see some other coaches have joined as well, and they are also free to respond to those questions at that moment. Okay, so what is the coaching program? So the coaching program is a opportunity for past students to gain some real life managerial experience because you're kind of acting like manager to students, especially if you go further in leadership. And it's designed for the students that perform the best in the student program. They can apply to the coaching program, and they will also start with a theoretical phase like you guys, but then we talk a lot about more like how do you coach effectively, how do you give feedback in an effective manner, right? And also some more international business basics. And also learn more about how global virtual teams work, which are common conflicts. And how can you also use this knowledge and put it to practice? And then they get assigned to teams, so they are able to mentor new generations of agriculture participants. So there is literally a lot of different things you can learn from this program, and it's a lot of different aspects, and it kind of lasts as long as the student phase, because you also have a theoretical phase, you have the practical phase, and also a post reflection phase where the students are writing their evaluation reports, but the coaches are also making a portfolio to see also what they learned. So it's kind of like you're helping students, but you're also learning a lot yourself. And not so very practical, but we also do have a lot of fun meetings, just like we have the Saturday meetings for students. But for the coaches, we also have icebreakers and stuff, because it's always important to also to have fun and make friends. So that will stay in all phases of the project. Wherever you are, we do think it's important to really work on culturally understanding each other. And this is also something we do during the coaching program, where we also have coaches share about their cultures as well. So that's something that continues in all stages of the program. Okay, so let's delve a little bit deeper on what the role of a coach is. So we also ask all coaches during the practical phase to deliver a live webinar to a global audience. We have a webinar team in the coaching project, which is being led by Shristi, and also Liam, for example, one of our lead coaches from Academy, also helps there. And then we ask the coaches, they can pick different topics. For example, I did one on problem solving before. And then they really learn, how do you give a webinar to a global audience? And then they can, for example, invite other coaches, or we have also invited students in the past, so that they also learn the presenting side of things. Like you have the presentations in the post-reflection phase for students, we have the live webinar for coaches. Secondly, they review and score your reports and also your video presentations. And they give, of course, marks to that, but also I think that's also very important. They also provide constructive feedback and give also feedback in a way that would have been helpful for them, of students, because they can really look at the reports, because professors can be a while ago, they've actually been a student. And what is really valuable from the coaches is that they have been in this position themselves not too long back, so they can really provide feedback in a way that's really suited for students. And then what they also do is monitor the participants, their progress, and ensuring that they are on track to meet their goals. As I said, you should have already received an email by your coaches, and they will also ask to be in your group chats, because they're there to support. They will probably send you reminders about deadlines and ask you how things are going, give advice. So they really are there to coach and support you through the whole project. And they also help with coaching and assistance the participants when there are specific conflicts or challenges. They will also offer advice, and they also dare to reach out if something is happening in your team that's not that nice. They are always there for you, and you can always reach out to them. And also, what's also important is that they don't only give feedback after the end of the reports, they also give feedback during the time you're working, so weekly feedback on your drafts. So this means you get feedback that you can actually use to improve your report already. So that's also very helpful, that you get somebody who is going to give you feedback all the way through. And yes, they also complete a weekly survey like you do every week. And they also write a reflection paper, or we call it a portfolio, where they share the lessons they learned from coaching and just a bunch of their experience all together, and also how they could improve next semester, or also how we as X-Culture could improve, because there's a lot of room for growing and learning, both from X-Culture side and for yourself. There's a lot of room for personal developments. And what they also do is they act also between a bridge between the teams, the lead coaches, coaching managers, and also admins. They are the persons who know best what's happening in the teams. They also know if there's specific issues that can be clarified. For example, if something is wrong with, for example, the weekly survey, the coaches can sometimes get messages from their teams, and they're the first to report that to us. So in that way, they're also really helpful with signaling issues when they're not that big yet to us. Okay, so that is basically the role of coaches. And you can see they actually do a lot. So I also want to say the coaches are all acting as volunteers, and they're doing the best that they can. So in that way, I also want to be respectful of their time. You can always ask for help. That's for they're there for, but it can sometimes take 24 hours for a response, and that is okay. They're trying their best to help you, but they do also have school or maybe a job already and other responsibilities they have to manage. So I ask you all to also be considerate of that. But that being said, if you need help, don't hesitate to reach out to them. They are also, and that's more from my side, I always like to help students, and we are happy when you reach out, so you don't have to be scared to ask questions. Okay, so I just discussed like a lot of different things and roles, and also how that could be helpful for students. But maybe you guys are also wondering, well, now I'm a student, but maybe when I'm done, I also want to be a coach. And what are the benefits of joining the coaching program? Well, you can gain a global perspective because you're still working with people from all different countries, and now you're also doing a lot more behind the scenes and working together quite intensively with both students from different countries, coaches, admin members. So you really get a global perspective. And secondly, as I also mentioned, skill development. In the coaching program, I have personally learned a lot of skills like presenting, how to give effective feedback. I've learned more about international business. So it's also really good for your skills. And then thirdly, networking opportunities. You meet a lot of different people from all over the world, and you also meet other students and people who might already have some knowledge about fields you want to go into. You can also talk about different things. It can be very helpful that you can discuss certain things with each other. Because, for example, we have another admin member, Bea, and she's from Romania, Hungary, Germany, but now she actually studies in the Netherlands. So now we also talk about that, and it's like great that we now are in the same country and can also discuss like things about studying, which are maybe universities for a master. So it's like really every time I get surprised with the sheer like volume of different people, and not only international business students, but such a diversity in all ways. And for the coaching program, you do have to pay once you participate the first time, because in your first semester you get a lot of training, which we also have to provide. So we do have to ask for a fee for that. But when you are a returning coach, so after your first semester, you are able to participate for free. You only have to pay the coaching fee your first semester. And yeah, but it is also something that looks good on your resume. You can say you have real practical experience. And also definitely with more companies moving to online work, and a lot more companies also having teams that don't live in the same country or even continent, it's really good that you can already show you have this experience and also know how to manage these issues. You will also get a recommendation letter and a certificate. And yeah, this is also very useful. Maybe if you're applying to university or for a job, you have something to show and something that's quite unique. And you can also have a lot of cultural awareness because we will also discuss different traditions and things from our cultures. Yes, and I do want to add, even though it's not here, I mentioned a lot like of formal benefits, but I personally also like made a lot of just friends, and it's also a really nice welcoming. We've called ourselves a global family. It's just a really nice group of people to work with, and sometimes even though you were not able to meet in person yet, you still have like a good relationship with each other. And because we also focus on bonding, it's like it can be a lot of work, but if you do it with people who like think the same about the important stuff, have the same values, it can also be really fun to work together. Okay, so as I mentioned already, at the end of every semester, we also have a giveaway to give one of the best X-Culture students a free seat to complete in a coaching program. And I already mentioned in the earlier media meeting that we have some of the things we will look on. So we will look at peer evaluation scores, how active you are in our groups, coaches evaluations, just general, if you're active in webinars, if you maybe have done different extra things we do. So we really also how you report it, what your teammates say, as already mentioned. So we really like do a holistic view to choose the best student. But also if you are not the lucky winner of this prize, we will at the end of the semester invite the best students to also apply to the coaching programs. You do like have to pay a fee for that, but that will also be clear at the time the semester ends and you get selected as a coach. There will also be clear information about that at that point for you. So do keep that in mind. That is also a possibility if you're now in the semester and you really like it and you want to stay with X-Culture for the next semester or more semesters to come. Okay, so thank you. For now, are there any questions about the coaching program? I will stop sharing my screen because we're going to move on to like a coaching Q&A. So okay, so if there are no further questions right now, let's move to the coaching Q&A. So Lisa and Emily, maybe if you can stop. Yes, I can see you guys again. Okay, so I have a few questions for you already, but I also do want to say that it's supposed to be an organic conversation. So if you as a student also have any questions to ask to these coaches, or if you're a coach in the audience, also feel free to, also add your answers, maybe in the chat, or you can even open your camera and unmute your mic if you want. So let's just start with the first question I have. Looking back, what was something that really stood out for you when transitioning from a student to a coach? Emily, would you maybe want to start us off with that?
Yes, of course. Well, I think that, I recall that having this transition to being from a student as a coach, it was really scary. I was completely afraid to send my application to the coaching program, to be honest. And I think that what stood with me all this time was to have that the time management and the groups we have, that we always work as a group. We are a team, and you have this experience as a student with your own team working on a challenge, but then you go to the coaching program and you are all having the same tasks, but you have different challenges as a coach yourself and with your teams. So I think that the experience I had was that we are always together and we coach ourselves as well.
Oh, yeah, I really also like that you say that we also coach ourselves. We also help each other. And yeah, I do also relate to finding it's very scary to be a coach and to apply in the beginning. And Lisa, what would you say is what stood out to you in the transition from a student to a coach?
Mine is sort of the same as Emily's, but just on the line of how connected the coaches were, in the sense that of like the friendliness, like the sort of friendship and family, like community style that's built. So I don't know why, but in my head as a student, I built up that like my coach is only dealing with me, and like they have like a lead coach, yes, but no one else is really so worried about like what's going on with the team. But like now being in the program, it's more like it's nice and it's friendly, I guess, to see that everyone does have their own challenges, but people still worry about what's going on with you. And everyone at some point, someone is always thinking, oh, I have my problems, but maybe Lisa also has this going on. I should check in with her and just see what's happening. Yeah.
Thank you so much also for that answer, and also showing like the community side for the coaches also. So could you maybe describe what is the most memorable moment you had being in the coaching program? Maybe Lisa, you want to start off now?
Yeah, I can go. I think it was either my first or second time being just a coach, so not this lead coach. I was asked to do like a presentation on where I come from, so like Kenya, and it was a presentation to the students, which I had never done before, because webinars you do sort of anyone, but this was like a presentation to students. It was about I was an opportunity to do that, and like even during the meeting, everyone was so interactive and like.
Okay. Emily, is Lisa also lagging a bit for you, or is it me?
Yeah, I think we just missed it, Lisa.
Yes.
So we can move to Emily.
Yeah, we can. And yeah, Lisa was
Okay.
explaining more about like the time she did a virtual tour of like Kenya for the students for the first time, which I also remember, which like really also for her was like great how she did that and related to the students. So that was, for me, now looking back on it, it was also a really nice moment to see. So let's move to Emily now.
Thank you. Well, I think the most memorable situation I had that happened recently was, well, as a coach, last time I had two teams for myself, and it was really challenging. And even if they were doing their own work and I was like guiding them and helping them, they have their own issues, especially when with time management and coordinating and agreement issues they're on the team. So it was a big challenge, but I think I did a good job. So after that, when this second semester of the coaching program is started, two of the students I was coaching returned, and then they kind of shared that the reason they were becoming a coach this time was that they kind of liked the way I was their coach. So it was really nice to hear, and it was like a motivation for myself.
Yeah, that's definitely a very special moment. I think Lisa is also back. And Lisa, what do you love most about the coaching program?
Okay, I love like I already said, the community, but
Mhm.
also I love being able to evaluate reports in a sense. Because as a student, I only saw my team's report, so I never saw what was going on with anyone else. I never really, after picking a team company, I never really thought about what was going on with the other companies. That was it for me. So I like being able to evaluate reports because it gives me a chance also to learn more about the other companies and how other teams are doing as well. Yeah.
Okay. Emily, what is the thing you love most about a coaching program?
Well, I think the coaching program is really time consuming, but I think the good aspect of it is that you are training yourself and that you are this kind of program pushes me, well, in my case, to be to kind of continue increasing my abilities and to find what I want to be and who I want to be in the society, you know, constantly relating with everyone and with every type of people you may think. So I think it's a really good experience.
Well, thank you. And then something that is already a little bit related to what you just mentioned, Emily, is what are certain aspirations or goals that you might have realized when you were in the X Culture journey? So this can be like personal things you want to be, or maybe even like professional inspirations what you want to do later on.
Well, it will definitely be like to help others. Everyone is on different tracks. I don't know what they are going through, but what I can do is to guide them and to tell them a bit of my experience and to share what it like my own knowledge for them to become better person, not to be me but to be their own, like to be the best but with their own touch.
That is definitely a very beautiful goal to have in life in general. Thank you for that. And Lisa, do you have any aspirations or goals? Can also be professional you realize through this program?
I think mine would be more not professional but personal in the sense of always trying my best to learn more about different cultures around the world. So not just even the different cultures already in my own country or in the continent of which I'm part of, but of the whole world, because I think X Culture just showed me how many different cultures we experience every day. So it would just be continue to learn about more cultures and always think about someone else might be experiencing something differently. So taking into consideration that.
Okay, yeah. That's are definitely nice also to have in your daily life, and just to use that cultural curiosity is very important. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so we've now also talked about like some of the fun things about X culture, right? But we of course also need to admit it's sometimes challenging, and those are also the moments we learn most. So that's why I want to ask you what was one of the most challenging things in the coaching program, and also if you can also dive a little bit into what you did to overcome that or how to handle that, right?
I think for me, the most challenging thing was public speaking. Even if it's over Zoom, I'm still counting it as public speaking.
Yeah,
So
of course it counts.
the first time we were doing webinars and it wasn't something optional, I had a small panic because I was like, oh no, I have to help lead a webinar, I have to be involved, and then I have to present it to a bunch of people I've never met and they don't know me, but it's still so stressful. So I think what I did to overcome that at least was before that webinar, I just told my group, hey guys, I have a small problem with public speaking. Could we do very many dry runs just so I can like get to understand what's exactly going to happen? And that did help me to be able to speak more over Zoom with my camera on.
Can I ask, just to take in the opportunity, how do you feel about doing presentations right now?
I feel better. I don't know if it's that I got to know the coaches as well better, or if I just got over that and I accepted that it's going to happen, it doesn't matter, but I do feel better about it. So now my biggest problem with public speaking is always, will my Wi-Fi stay connected? So I have a whole new problem just on the side. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really nice. That also helps you out of your coaching, out of like your own nervousness. And I also like how in that story that you also mentioned it to the other coaches that you had, and that they also like help you with doing many dry runs, and that helps in the end. That was not something you had to like do on your own. And I definitely do also relate to the problems with public speaking in the beginning. And even on Zoom, in the beginning, it was not less scary than in person. Emily, what is for you one of the challenges that you had to overcome during the coaching program?
I would say a couple of I think it was hard for me to be like flexible and also transparent when giving feedback.
Mhm.
It is hard like to be open to new ideas and different situations that appear also for me as a coach with the teams. So yeah, I think I found some trouble with those skills, but I kind of reinforce them as well. You know, you see in what you're failing and you try to be to improve it.
Yeah, that is good. How do you feel like about evaluating reports right now?
Well, I think I find it like easy now. I try to be like I try to stick to something to what they are the best and what they need to improve, so that it's easy to write the feedback and to be supportive as well.
Yeah, so really finding that balance, something you learned. Okay, that's very good. And I am now asking a lots of questions, but I do also want to remind the students that if you have any questions for your coaches, feel free to unmute your mic or put them in the chat, raise your hands. But for now, I do have another question, which are more kind of about, because of coaches, we do also a lot of things that the students also do. So maybe you guys have like learned some tips we can use. So do you have any tips for online meetings?
Yes, I think that the key to organize a meeting is to have a clear agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start a meeting and you don't even know what you're going to discuss, then you will just completely drift from your goal and you won't do anything. Also, you need you have to try that everyone is able to participate in this meeting. It's not only you or a couple, because then you make decisions and the other will be will be conscious of this.
Yeah, so I hear you mention that it's important that you involve all of the students. Do you have any tips to make sure that maybe some of the more shy students also get the chance to participate in the meetings?
Well, of course, you need to ask questions to everyone. You need to make sure, and if it's not the rest that it's taking this initiative, then do it yourself. You become the leader in that meeting. You need to make sure that everyone's opinion is being shared.
Thank you so much. That's definitely good advice also for the students. Lisa, do you have any tips for online meetings?
Mine was along the line of Emily's, of also just being interactive, interactiveness. Just even if no one's really interacting, just still be interactive, if that makes sense. It's in the sense that even if people aren't really like talking, it's still just good to include them in a way, or just show that they can at any moment start being more interactive with the meeting. And I guess, I don't know if this is a tip, but just like to know that things might go wrong. Things do happen to go wrong during online meetings. So it's just good to always be able to take that with stride and continue with what's happening in the meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And you also really mentioned interactiveness in the meeting, which also brings me to the next point I want to bring up. We also discuss the importance of icebreakers, and we also recommend students do icebreakers. So my question is, do you have any favorite icebreakers you like to do with your students, or any fun get to know you questions? Yeah, it's a bit more of a difficult question, right? Because there are lots of options.
Okay, I'm not the best with icebreakers. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the best, but I really like when we, as culture, do quizzes. The quiz is option on like different like topics and different cultures and anything really. So like I know a lot of the times when webinars are happening, I really find it interesting when the icebreaker is sort of like leads you into what's going to happen in the webinar. So it gives you a chance to like just get your brain on the topic that's going to be discussed. And then, yeah, I'm not the best with icebreakers, but I really like quizzes. Yes.
Quizzes, yeah, those are always fun. Emily, do you have a favorite icebreaker?
Well, the same as Lisa, I'm not the best for this, but I remember that something I did with my team the first time was like to, of course, introduce ourselves, but then find something that we have in common while sharing our hobbies. And also I remember that one of my teammates were like was like kind of trying to know the meanings, or like trying to guess the meanings of our names and where they were from. So it was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's definitely a very interesting one. I think you guys are great with icebreakers with these suggestions. I also like icebreakers, and one of my favorites is this or that. So I also made our coaches this or that. So a this or that is that you have two options and you have to choose one. So my first. Is that a meeting for the coaches? I'm not sure I truly understand the question, but we're now also having a meeting about like coaches. So we do also have some webinars for the coaches organized. But if you mean something else with your question, you can also open the mic or just like clarify it in the chat, and I'm happy to answer. Okay, so my first question of the this or that for our coaches, and if the students want to participate in the chat, go also along. So would you rather have an 7 a.m. meeting, so early in the morning, or an 11 p.m. meeting, and it's in your own time zone? I see
agree with the 7 a.m. That
7 a.m.
Yes, 7 a.m.
You're also very early risers. I would rather have one at 11 p.m. at night. But
the thing is, for me, that 7 a.m. EST translates to 2 p.m. in Kenya.
No, I'm asking in your own time zone now. So 7 a.m. in your time zone.
Still 7 a.m.
You're also, Emily, still 7 a.m.?
Yeah, 7 a.m.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so now we use a lot of different technologies. So do you like to use Google Drive or Dropbox more for sharing files?
Well, Google Drive is my go-to. Like, yeah, I find it easier.
Same. I don't fully understand how to work a Dropbox from the side of creating it, so Google Drive works best for me.
Yes, I do also agree, like for documents, definitely Google Docs. But I now also sometimes have like larger files and recordings, and then Dropbox really comes in handy. And also, this is also something where we in X Culture also use both.
Mm.
Do you like Excel or Google Spreadsheet more?
I'm going to say Google Spreadsheets just because it can be opened on any device.
Mhm.
And I also a little bit, I don't know how to actually work Excel, the app. So I know how to use Google Sheets, but not actual Excel.
Yeah, the same for me. I will choose spreadsheets.
We're really agreeing with each other on this one, yeah. And also in the chat, I also see spreadsheets. Yeah, I do also like spreadsheets. Excel is great if you are doing some more complicated things, and for report evaluations, it's like there are a lot of files. I don't think with spreadsheets, I think it might be a little bit laggy. So, okay, so now a difficult one. The theoretical or the post-reflection phase?
Um, I love the theoretical phase, to be honest, and I really like the experience and the situation it put you on. So yeah, I'll decide.
And Lisa?
As a student, I like the post-reflection phase, but as a coach, I like the theoretical phase.
Yeah. Well, I currently also really like the post-reflection phase because I really also love like evaluating the videos, right?
Mm.
And like seeing the presentation, the live presentations. Okay, and now another one. Just for the students, as coaches, we use Slack to interact with each other, which is kind of like a messaging app. So the question is, do you prefer to use Slack or WhatsApp?
I prefer WhatsApp.
Emily?
Yes, me as well. Mm.
Well, I agree. Like Slack is definitely a good thing because it's good that you can like separate X culture from your other stuff. So it's really you have separate channels. So it's really good in that way. But I do agree that WhatsApp, if I quickly need something from somebody, is often a quicker option.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you like putting together your portfolio more or doing a webinar?
Conducting a webinar for me.
I like putting together the portfolio more.
Oh, nice. So we have two answers. And why do you like putting the portfolio together more, Lisa?
I like that it gives me a chance to see like everything that I've done or been part of throughout the semester. Yeah, and I like using Canva to like make it look nice and pretty and stuff, and that's just fun for me. So yeah.
And Emily, do you want to argue the side of the webinar? Why do you enjoy that more?
Well, I do like public speaking and like sharing and all the process of coordinating things with the team, deciding on topics, and yeah, it's a really fun activity.
Okay, yeah. I'm definitely gonna just say both. I'll take the easy one out on this one. Okay, so last this or that question. Video evaluations or report evaluations?
Report
I like
evaluations.
Same.
Really?
Same.
Yeah. I personally am somebody who likes video evaluations a lot because it's like really shows the presenting and stuff. And also sometimes students like get creative with editing and stuff, and it's nice to see.
I
Okay.
just feel for me, the videos are, I love the videos. I love to watch them, but just
Mhm.
evaluating them just seems so much longer than the reports. I don't know, maybe that's just me.
Yeah, it's definitely a different way of evaluating. It's even though you think evaluating is all the same, it's like a different thing. It's like you have a different approach when evaluating. Okay. So that was my last this or that question. And we're now also moving a little bit into like also the end of the webinar. So I will have like one question for you guys, which I think is important. What is something you learned as a coach you would have liked to know as a student?
That the coach is genuinely there for you. Like
Mhm.
when they say on like whatever mode of communication you've chosen, so WhatsApp, Telegram, anything, when they genuinely say like I'm here to help you, like if you need anything, when they're sending okay, I know I as a coach used to send like weekly like reminders and things,
Mhm.
that the coach is genuinely like they want to help. Because I know as a student, I don't think I asked my coach for help all the time when I needed it. I sort of just thought, oh, this person is just, they're not that interesting. But like now as a coach, I know like genuinely they just want to help. Yeah, that's it for me.
That's definitely also good. I think good when we're getting into the end of the Q&A. And Emily, what would you say you would have loved to know as a student, but you only learned it as a coach?
Well, I think it's the same as Lisa, but also like
Mhm.
that you really need to look for creative things all the time that you are like participating and evolving in the program. Of course, you can guide yourself from the others and others' ideas, but the best is to, you know, to be creative and don't like use already known facts or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely important, creativity. And I also think that is also a nice one. I think that is the last question I want to talk now to ask myself if I'm also looking at the time. But I do now also want to give you a moment if you have any more questions for our coaches. Feel free to ask them, and also if you have any questions or about the program in general, and maybe Rafael has also something he wants to mention or some.
No questions? I can say a couple words then. First of all, I just want to thank you, Luis, Emily, and Lisa for creating this presentation. And it's awesome to see your answers, and also it's great to see all the improvement and development that you three go through. So it makes me proud that I participated somehow in your growth. So I hope you guys keep doing what you do and keep learning in with Xculture, as I'm also learning with you guys. Okay, so thank you very much for doing this presentation today. I really enjoyed it very much. Thank you. But yeah, so that's it for today, guys. Next week, I don't remember the event. Do you, Luis? Let me check. We will
GeoGuessr.
yeah, we will have a mini game event. So it's going to be for you to have some fun and learn about other countries and places. Okay, more information will be shared soon. Okay, do you have anything to add, Liz, Emily, Lisa? All good?
No, I just want to thank you guys for joining, and just want to say, as I already said at the beginning, if you have an email from your coach, please respond to it and also interact with them. And I hope today you got a little bit more insights on also the coaching side of things, and also know that they're really there to genuinely help you, as Emily and Lisa really explained very well. Thank you so much for also your answers, and I also am really amazed also about your growth and how like easily you're talking now, and also some of the really important lessons you learned and some of the great advice you gave. So thank you so much for today.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. See you.